In today's modern age, becoming a pop superstar is often just a few clicks away. With the rise of TikTok, we've seen countless songs and artists go from relative obscurity to viral fame, for example Doja Cat, Lil Nas X, Ash Nico, and Olivia Rodrigo. This isn't to say that these folks didn't have fans online before, but thanks to the help of a few of their songs blowing up online, they've become industry titans. Not to mention the countless smaller artists that have found their own little fan bases online. But what happens when you go viral for all the wrong reasons? Going viral can be a blessing or a terrible, terrible curse, and there's no better example of this than alternative pop punk band The Tramp Stamps. There's also no better example of the bizarre online phenomenon / conspiracy of industry plants. So how did a small self-proclaimed feminist punk band with a few hundred followers become the most hated band on the internet, facing waves of hatred and vitriol? Well, let's find out. Before we get into things, I'd just like to give a huge thank you to Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. Atlas VPN is a tool that encrypts and protects your data as well as hiding your virtual location. You probably already know at this point that streaming sites like Netflix, Hulu, and even YouTube have region-locked content, meaning for example if you're in the US you can't watch Rick and Morty. With Atlas VPN, all of this locked content is just a few clicks away. Just connect to your country of choice and bam, now you can watch all the Rick and Morty you want. Not only is Atlas VPN great for accessing all kinds of epic movies and TV shows, but it can also help keep you safe online. With Atlas VPN's data breach monitor feature, you can insert your email and it'll scour the internet for any potential data leaks, including your info. Enable notifications to be kept in the loop about the safety of your data so you can change emails and passwords if they become compromised. Those little hacker men can't get you now. Atlas VPN is supported on any device and provides a 30-day money-back guarantee for all subscription purchases. Atlas VPN is great for not only keeping you safe and protected online, but opening up a whole new world of movies and TV shows, which I'm really enjoying exploring. Currently, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount on their 3-year deal for just $1.39 per month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. This deal won't last long, so definitely make sure to check it out by clicking the link in the video description below. Thank you so much to Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video, and now let's get on with the story of The Tramp Stamps. So if you weren't around for the blazing trash fire that was the Tramp Stamp situation back in April of 2021, you may not even know who these people are. The Tramp Stamps are an American pop punk band comprised of 3 members, Marissa Maino, Caroline Baker, and Paige Blue, or the purple one, the pink one, and the blue one. According to them, they met while drunk at a bar and bonded over songwriting, eventually forming the band and their own music label called Make Tampons Free. As you can probably tell, they have a very bold aesthetic, kind of playing into that whole alternative e-girl punk dolls kill fashion style, and very much playing into the I'm not like other girls, riot girl, punk girlboss persona. It's really funny, I kind of tried to do this look as like I'm the red tramp stamp, I'm the 4th member, and it's like a parody thing, but it's honestly indiscernible from how I usually dress, so is more of a self-own than anything. The 3 members hail from Nashville, Tennessee, and began posting a steady stream of official band photos in 2020 before releasing their first single in January of 2021. Basically, as of recording this, they've only publicly been a band for about 6 months, and in those 6 months, they've made quite the name for themselves. The Tramp Stamps began making music in early 2021 with their debut single Sex With Me, which certainly has some colourful lyrics to say the least. Anyway, it was pretty successful, reaching nearly 500,000 views, and was followed up by the song 1-800-MISS-YOUR-GUTS, which did significantly less well. About a month later, they would release their now infamous song I'd Rather Die, which would launch them from an obscure indie band with a small but devoted following to bona fide internet villains. The band has been accused of a whole slew of things, from pandering to Tumblr kids to being industry plants to actual hate speech, so let's get into the long list of scandals that led to their very public downfall. So what exactly is an industry plant? Well, industry plants are usually creators that are sold as being very like homemade and indie, when in reality they have huge multi-million-dollar labels backing them up. It may appear that an artist making music in their bedroom just blows up overnight, when in reality it's a huge label behind the scenes pulling the strings to get them a following, publicity, and essentially fame. Many believe that labels use industry plants to influence trends within the industry, and industry plant is usually used as a derogatory term to shame artists and insinuate that they didn't couldn't earn their fame. But over time this label has become extremely muddy to the point that pretty much every artist can and will be called an industry plant. What's the difference between an artist like Halsey, who gained her own following on Tumblr and MySpace before being picked up by a label who worked behind the scenes to market to their audience, or an artist like Lorde, who had ties to Universal since the age of 13 but was marketed as a small town indie success, or an artist like Clairo, who despite her MacBook in my bedroom on GarageBand vibes has a really rich dad who works in the music industry. All three have been called plants, and that's not even getting into so-called manufactured pop stars like Katy Perry, Kesha, and One Direction. The general consensus is that industry plants are bad. They're artificially shifting trends within the industry. The plants themselves are often manipulated and used as mouthpieces for brands and corporations, and of course they're seen as dishonest, ingenuine, and having no artistic integrity. So why exactly did people think that the Tramp Stamps, a relatively unknown small indie punk band, were industry plants? Well, for context, we need to take a quick look at the kind of content that they were creating. Tramp Stamps as a band was marketed specifically to teenage girls as a rebellious, feminist, #girl power, #boss babe punk band, and they had a very clear aesthetic style that played into alternative punk and e-girl subcultures. Most of their songs are about being angry, getting crunk, or having sex, but to be honest, that's pretty much 90% of songs, so I guess you can't really hold that against them. What people did hold against them though was the alleged poor quality of the music and lyrics, with many of their songs being very auto-tuned and overproduced, as well as just very abrasive and poppy. Now, believe it or not, I'm really not a music connoisseur, so my opinion is kinda garbage. Like, this is an actual screenshot of my Spotify playlist, so I can't really comment on the technical skill and quality of the music. However, what I will point out is the lyrics. I like to snort Adderall, then punch a hole in the wall. And if I hear you talk shit, I'll kick you right in the dick. Tonight, I feel like I might puke and rally. Doing body shots with Abby, getting sick in the alley. I got the weed in the baggie, my friends and I keep it classy. The way that we shake our arsey. That probably sounded really stupid in my accent. I mean, it probably sounds stupid in any accent. And of course, from their infamous song I'd Rather Die than hook up with another straight white guy. I'd rather die than fake it like I'm having a good time. I'd rather die than spend the night with another Ryan or Matthew or John. Yeah, I'd rather die. Yeah, it's a lot. We'll get into it later, but now that you have an idea of how the Tramp Stamps kind of present themselves and what kind of content they make, let's move on to the whole industry plant thing. After the band began posting their songs to YouTube, they created a TikTok account where they uploaded their music as audio clips for others to use, as well as posting their own videos. They were rising in popularity and gaining a steady stream of supportive followers who really enjoyed their aesthetic as well as their catchy music. However, this growth stopped pretty abruptly after they posted the audio of their song I'd Rather Die to the platform where it, as well as their TikTok account, went viral for all the wrong reasons. Not only did people really hate the song, but they started accusing the Tramp Stamps of being frauds and industry plants. There were accusations that their entire existence was carefully constructed by a label and PR team in order to appeal to alti Gen Z kids with the dyed hair and the lyrics about hating straight white men and just everything.
Cutting bangs feeling feral! 5 out of 5. We all been there.
Women I'd thank for stepping on my neck. 5 out of 5.
Period. You're welcome. No rights for men. Period. 5 out of 5.
They were basically accused of being 20 to 30 something millennials dressing up as cartoonish stereotypes of TikTok and Tumblr teens with no understanding of any of the subcultures or aesthetics they were using, and a lot of people used words like sinister or insidious to describe them. Grayson made a really great point in her video when she pointed out that the Tramp Stamps and possibly the PR team behind them made two really big mistakes. Appealing to the alternative emo punk community who are very quick to identify poses and fakes, and appealing to the TikTok and Tumblr community whose literal favorite pastime is bullying creators that they don't like. While everyone on TikTok was busy creating videos about how blatant and how do you do fellow kids this band was, internet sleuths began digging into their past history to find dirt, and oh boy did they hit a gold mine. TikTok users first went to their Instagram to find clues. The band's very first posts were fully edited and professionally shot photos. They had a link tree with a bunch of pre-established social media accounts, and they had around 25,000 followers but often got 1,000 or less likes on their photos. which basically suggests that their follow count may have been artificially boosted. Same with their YouTube, many found it suspicious that their first single got hundreds of thousands of views when it was their first ever video and they had literally only formed a few months prior. They also noted the really high production value on the music videos right off the bat. Their website, which was beautifully designed and animated, had a carefully crafted bio filled with industry buzzwords that seemed specifically crafted to sell the band to big executives. With a lyrical style that's equal parts social commentary, soul-bearing confession, and brilliantly profane storytelling, singer Marissa Maino, guitarist Caroline Baker, and drummer Paige Blue speak the truth on societal ills like white boy privilege and fragile masculinity, all while revealing their warped sense of humor and untamed joie de vivre. Digging deeper into their social medias, it was found that Paige, Marissa, and Caroline all had completely different aesthetics before the band started and only started dressing punk right before they started the Tramp Stamps. As you can see, all three of them had very generic Instagram accounts and dressed in a way more quote-unquote normal way. Marissa especially had a history of switching aesthetics to match the type of music she was putting out, which just confirmed to people that this new Tramp Stamp style was inauthentic. Now, how much this bothers you is subjective. I think there are plenty of bands and singers who dress a certain way to enhance their brand, and I don't think that it's disingenuous or insidious to do that. On the other hand, many called the band out for co-opting and monetizing punk and riot girl aesthetics, both of which have very rich history that the band just didn't seem to care about. Tumblr user Fire or The Flood put it best when they wrote, quote, "Tramp Stamps is the perfect example of what I mean when I say what used to be considered alternative counterculture has now been fully commodified and stripped of any sincerity or radical potential it ever had, LMAO. The market truly has nothing left to offer us but hand-picked influences, poorly repackaging emo nostalgia and riot girl feminism, and $600 dolls kill clothes and neon hair dye." People even analysed photos of their hair and pointed out that their root growth was the exact same, indicating that they'd all bleached and dyed their hair at the same time. Things got more serious when people dug into the band's past history and found out that each of the members had been working in the music industry for a number of years. Now, there's a lot of confusion about whether the Tramp Stamps as a band are signed to a label. They as a band have their own label called Make Tampons Free, which is part of the Artists Without a Label group. However, there's also this.
Back in August of 2020, they registered for a trademark on their name so they could use it for things like merch. Keep in mind they didn't post their first TikTok till November of 2020, a few months later. And so this is the address and the person who was responsible for applying for that trademark back in August. That address belongs to an entertainment business management company. I could be totally wrong here, but it's just a little bit suspicious that they had an entertainment management company applying for trademarks for them, like several months before they posted even their first TikTok.
So make of that what you will, and each member individually also had quite the resume. Paige Blue has been producing and songwriting for years, working with brands like Apple, Sephora, CBS, Netflix, Fox, and MTV. Marissa Maino and Caroline Baker were also found to have solo publishing deals with a big label before they started the Tramp Stamps. The label was called Prescription Songs, and we need to talk about Dr. Luke. So Prescription Songs is a really popular and successful label that works with some of the world's biggest stars like Doja Cat, Saweetie, and Dua Lipa. The label is owned by the infamous Lucas Gottwald, known as Dr. Luke, who in recent years has been accused by multiple big stars of poor treatment. Kesha was one of Dr. Luke's biggest stars in the 2010s and had a crazy long 10 album contract with him that she went to court to get out of. Kesha alleged that she had experienced pretty much every type of abuse imaginable at the hands of Dr. Luke, and while I won't get into it, it was incredibly disturbing and heartbreaking and a really high profile case in the music world. This came as a shock to their critics, who pointed out that it kind of went against their whole feminist message when not one but two of them were signed with one of the most infamous creeps in the music industry. So with all of this evidence stacking up, it seems that without a doubt the Tramp Stamps are industry plants, right? Well, there are a few different theories. Theory 1 is that they're industry plants that have been put together by a large label who design their style and sound as a way to connect with and profit off of alternative teens on Tumblr and TikTok. Evidence supporting this is their inflated numbers, having a professional merch store only weeks after putting their first few songs out, as well as their industry connections and possible label connections. Theory 2 is that they orchestrated all of this themselves. These three are seemingly well-off white millennial women with a foothold in the music industry. It's not a stretch to think that they got together, figured out their target audience, and created the Tramp Stamps themselves as a way to launch their brand and possibly link up with a label later on. Theory 3 is that none of this is an act, this is genuinely the music they want to put out, and this is their authentic voice. This is entirely possible, but given the fact that judging by their social media and industry present, none of the members seemed to care or see the value in punk before they started a monetary venture, aka the band, is what made people so dubious. Both Caro and Marissa had solo careers consisting of softer styles, and Paige had never dabbled in punk either, so basically even if they aren't industry plants, most people believe that they're posers. Which hilariously, I honestly think some people find even worse. By the time that all of this had come out, the answer to whether the Tramp Stamps were industry plants or not didn't even really matter anymore. Critics of the band had dug even further into the band's past and their content and found even more issues with them, leading to further waves of criticism. As critics dug deeper into the band's past as well as the content they were making, they found even more to criticize. Their song I'd Rather Die in particular was raked over the coals for numerous reasons. In the song, one line reads, "I don't know how you think we're gonna fuck when you can't get it up. I'm sick of hearing it's the alcohol. And when you're finally in the mood, it lasts like 1 or 2 seconds and then you're done and want a spoon. I'm just saying it's not fair to leave me hanging like this." Just to put this in perspective, they're singing a #Girlboss anthem dunking on someone who's performing badly in bed because they're drunk. Many people pointed out that it's irresponsible to include this lyric where it seems like the guy just doesn't want to have sex or might not even be able to consent, and guilts him for quote leaving her hanging, which is obviously just really gross. I don't know, maybe don't bring dubious consent into your girl power anthem. This is a common theme within the Tramp Stamps' work. They sing a lot about how they hate straight white guys and they're terrible in bed and they suck, and they've actually kind of come under fire for this. Many people feel that these lyrics are needlessly mean and petty at best and fetishize non-white people at worst. They were also heavily called out for making a girl boss anthem about how they hated white men when they are 3 white women. Many took this as them trying to separate themselves from their whiteness and be relatable to people of color who have very valid reasons for criticizing white people that aren't just trying to be #relatable, #girl power. It's now been privated, but they did make an apology on TikTok at the time, which just made the backlash 10 times worse.
Hey guys, we've been seeing a lot of these comments, and so we wanted to get on here and clear the air. We see you, we hear you, we don't want you to feel like we don't. One, we are not fetishizing people of color. That's not what we intended. That's not what the song is about or supposed to be about. Two, we realize that we are white girls, and we're not trying to remove ourselves from our whiteness. We realize that there's privilege that comes with that, and we don't take that lightly. We wrote the song because we realized we had a similar poor sexual experience with a straight white guy with the same name, and that's what the song is about. It's basically just a dramatic way to tell men to be better in bed. We realized that we are white girls.
What the fuck do y'all mean y'all realized? I can't.
It also turns out that one of the members of the band is actually married to a straight white guy and has been for over 7 years. There's a really awkward moment in one of their YouTube videos with the guitarist where they're asked what their types are and she responds, "assholes," and her fellow band members have to remind her that she's currently dating a guy who is nice and she has to awkwardly take it back.
What's your type?
Unfortunately, assholes. I take the assholes thing, I take that back because
Your
my boyfriend is
so
really
nice.
This kind of seems like another example of them trying to make the idea of dating men that you don't like and who are mean to you into like a #relatable, #girlboss moment.
How we made sex with me. Step 1, sleep with a guy who doesn't respect you. Step 2, add alcohol.
Another weird moment is when the three are talking about their worst sexual encounters and the lead singer says hers was a guy who wore women's underwear. Like, for a band that's all about empowerment and body positivity and not caring about gender roles, they sure did enjoy laughing at that guy for not conforming to their idea of what a man should wear. So let the dude wear what he wants, it's his house, damn. People also dug into the lead singer's Twitter and found tweets using slurs from 2013, which was glossed over in their initial notes at response. However, this was later addressed on her personal Instagram. It's not my my place to comment on the validity of that apology, but it's there if you want to read it. So needless to say, the tramp stamps were pretty much under fire from all sides. Not only were their songs being ripped to shreds by teenagers on TikTok, but Reddit, Tumblr, and Instagram, and even Twitter had been getting involved and digging up dirt on the band to ruin their reputation. It was at this time that they released their infamous Notes app reply, which addressed all the hate. And oh boy, it's certainly in character. Hi fuckers, Tramp Stamps here. Yeah, that's really how they started their 4-page Notes app apology about their racism and uncomfortable lyrics. Or actually they didn't, because this wasn't really an apology, it was more of a confrontation towards those who had been sending them hate. I won't read it all because it's very long, but some choice sections include when they bragged that they had multiple major labels that wanted to sign them but they chose not to, discussing their industry ties to prescription songs as a way to discredit those accusing them of being industry plants while completely glossing over the ties to the infamous abuser Dr. Luke, and a grand total of 3 lines addressing the singer's past racism, followed up by the line, "Shall we move on to ageism?" Yeah, it was really not received well. Alongside not acknowledging the past actions, the band blamed all of the criticism they'd been receiving on misogyny and hatred towards women in the industry, which just wasn't true. Of course, there are always going to be a small minority of people who criticize you and are very misogynistic and they have very bad faith takes and they're just being bigoted, and it's okay to ignore those people. But the majority of those criticizing them were people in the LGBTQ+ community, people of color, and women. Lauren Andrikinic of unpublishedscene.com wrote of this statement, quote, "The criticism the band received was not a result of sexism but rather a response to their commercialized feminism. I'm in no way denying that they could have experienced misogyny in the industry, nor do I doubt that it's filled with sexism, but not every critique of a woman is rooted in misogyny. If the band truly believed that they were being targeted for being self-sufficient women, that issue should have been discussed separately from the band's racism. These things do not fall under the same umbrella. They've lumped together several concerns in an attempt to sweep the racist tweets and bad lyrics under the rug." It was not a good sign that the band had already been cancelled and issued their first Notes app apology within mere months of starting up, and things would only get worse from there. We've already established that the band had a huge presence on TikTok, but they also actually had an account on Tumblr. After all, as one of their lyrics reads, "Just a Tumblr girl and a skater boy, taking on the world, stuck in Illinois." So the narrative of their Tumblr meltdown goes like this. The Tramp Stamps create an account on Tumblr as well as a sock puppet side account. They begin answering obvious bait asks from users which reveal them to be completely clueless about Tumblr culture, for example unironically thinking the Onceler and Misha Apocalypse were bands and not being able to answer Tumblr's secret code phrase, "I like your shoelaces." Things got worse when they showed enthusiastic support for Matt Wright as well as TERF ideologies, and also seemed to imply that drummer Paige Blue was dating her cousin. The rest of their posts were just replying to asks with things like "Yas, hashtag Girlboss, slay BB," because you know, that's how kids talk. As memes dunking on the band filled the site, Tumblr users started commenting the phrase "bug ass" accompanied by the ant and peach emoji combo, absolutely flooding their post to the point that they deleted their account. A few days later they made another blog which was also eventually bullied into deactivating with "bug ass." If you search "bug ass" or Tramp Stamps on Tumblr, you'll find users compiling screenshots of all their absolutely wild posts and dunking on the band for how poorly they faked being Tumblr girls. Okay, so none of this is true. Whenever people talk about the Tramp Stamps, their insane Tumblr posts are always brought up. I've heard a lot of big names bring this up as well as if it's fact, but 99% of everything that's spread around about them is fake. From what I can piece together, the Tramp Stamps did in fact have a Tumblr blog, and I believe the URL was trampstamps.tumblr.com. I originally thought that this account may have been fake and maybe they never had a blog at all, but it appears that Marissa has acknowledged it on Instagram. I tried using the Wayback Machine to retrieve this blog. It had one archive on the 30th of April which lines up timeline wise, but the URL couldn't be retrieved. I then tried to find old versions of their website and Instagram to see if they ever had links to their Tumblr, which they didn't. While there's no actual archive we can check, there are a few scattered screenshots here and there of the Tramp Stamps blog. There's the sticker pack GIF thing they posted and the starter pack meme that they made that lots of people made fun of. They also posted a playlist of punk music where they included such punk icons as Halsey and Girl in Red. As far as I can tell, this Tramp Stamps blog was the only actually legitimate blog of theirs on Tumblr. They then left the platform for good after the bug ass incident, and because this had become such a huge meme, people began making fake accounts as well as fake stan accounts. This is where the accounts Tramp Stamps with 3 Z's, kind of stealing my brand, and Tramp Stans with 3 Z's, as well as possibly 1-800-HATE-YOUR-GUTS come in. These accounts were the ones posting about Margaret Thatcher having girl power and Super Hulock being a band, and despite being very obvious satire and bait, I think Tumblr users were having so much fun cyberbullying this band that they just convinced themselves that these accounts were legit. Rumors started up that they had created this as a second account and that they had created sock puppet accounts and fake stans to defend themselves, when in reality there's basically no evidence for this, and I'm 99% sure that aside from that one pretty inoffensive original account, these were all trolls. It's still pretty funny that they claimed to be Tumblr girls but got chased off the platform in 5 hours. This mess of fake accounts and trolls spread onto Twitter as well, with the infamous fake stan situation. So by this point the Tramp Stamps had been bullied off both Tumblr and TikTok, and as Twitter began to caught wind of the insanity, it became the hottest new trending meme. Naturally, because of this, more fake accounts and fake stan accounts popped up, namely the account @TrampStampsFan. This became another situation where people were convinced this account was run by the Tramp Stamps or their PR team to make it seem like they had fans. People believed this because they replied to another account in first person, so people were like, oh man, the Tramp Stamps have a fake account, they forgot to switch accounts, bro, caught in 4K, they're so dumb. This is the same account who posted a photo of Stonewall with the Tramp Stamps edited in and posted a link to #StreamTrampStampsGirlies where the link was goatsy. Why am I not surprised that Wang replied to this? So this was obviously a bait account. It was just another troll like the ones on Tumblr who were posting inflammatory shit to make the band and its fans look bad and spark more outrage. This account and a lot of other fake accounts like it were also spreading that whole Paige is dating her cousin thing. They called it CLC for cousin loving cousin. It's not true. Paige Blue is not dating her cousin. 99% of people I've seen genuinely still believe all of this to be true, and it's like, how? By this point the Tramp Stamps had deleted their Tumblr, privated their Twitter, and I believe turned comments off or just fully deactivated their TikTok account. Pretty much everything from their original TikToks, apologies, and notes app posts have been deleted since then and aren't archived on the Wayback Machine, so screenshots are pretty much all we have. That's likely why there's so much false information and rumors that surround their social media presence, because 99% of the screenshots and accounts out there that are spread as being true are just trolls. This is around the time that big YouTubers like Strange Aeon, Swell Entertainment, and Anthony Fantano began covering them, and with all their social media shut down, most predicted that they would disband at any time. It seemed that the Tramp Stamps were off to join the likes of Timmy Thick and Cole Sprouse in the failed social experiment Hall of Fame, and it seemed like the industry hadn't successfully planted these three. But it turns out that the story is not quite over yet. Pretty recently, the Tramp Stamps made a return to the internet to announce their new EP. Despite widespread belief that they had quit the band due to how terribly wrong their debut went, they had actually been working on music behind the scenes for their EP, We Got Drunk and Made an EP. The EP and new music was received poorly, receiving criticism and wow, that's a lot of thumbs down. It seems like they're very self-aware about it at this point. In the music video for Anger Issues, they included bug ass and seem to use the bug emojis a lot, so I guess they're taking it in stride. Anthony Fantano, who made a very popular video on them back in April, made a review of their EP titled I Listened to the Tramp Stamps EP so you don't have to. It was obviously very negative towards the album, and the Tramp Stamps kind of responded to it. They made their own parody review where they kind of make fun of Anthony's review. For example, he accidentally called them a duo, so they keep calling themselves a duo the whole time.
Where we just kind of hang out.
We're just hanging out here. Hanging out and hating.
From the legendary pop punk duo known as Tramp Stamps.
How many people are in the duo?
I think there's 3.
It doesn't seem like there's a genuine anger or nihilism or hatred.
Not enough anger.
Not enough anger. I am actually angry.
Everything they do is bad.
Following this, we have Sex With Me, which is an oldie, but a goodie in the Tramp Stamps catalog.
Sex With Me is, their first single. It's an oldie.
But a goodie.
But a goodie.
In comparison with their other tracks at this point, it kind of sounds like a demo.
This song to me sounds like a demo.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I know for a fact it was made very professionally.
I'm just offended. I wake up every day and choose to be offended. I feel offended. Lyrics are bad. Production is bad. I
already hated tramp stamps and now I hate them more.
Tramp stamps is the worst duo!
The way that this video came across to me was just 3 adults having basically a temper tantrum over criticism. It's embarrassing. That and the fact that they put Anthony Fantano like a lookalike in their anger issues video and they have their character like kick him in the dick and they posted him on their Instagram story. It's embarrassing. That's really it. The tramp stamps get hate on basically everything they post, from their YouTube videos to their tweets to their TikToks to their Instagram posts, and honestly I don't think that's going to change for them. The tramp stamps label is always going to be tainted with all of this drama and toxicity and scandal. Usually at this point I'd just recommend scrapping the whole project and starting a new band, but honestly I think they should all work on their solo/individual careers. Both Marissa and Caro, or Caro Bay as she's known, have verified accounts on Spotify which are doing really well, and Paige has obviously found success songwriting, producing, and mixing music within the industry. Caro Bay's music in particular is really good. Her songs are getting millions of listens and her solo stuff is doing leagues better than anything by the tramp stamps. Ultimately, with their return to the internet, who knows what they'll do next? Maybe they'll come out with a Grammy Award winning album, maybe they'll just keep churning out small and poorly received EPs, maybe they'll disband to focus on their solo careers, or maybe they'll get themselves into another scandal. Whatever they do, I hope they never stop Gaslight, Gatekeep, girlbossing their way to the top. Bug us forever. If you're in solidarity, put an ant and a peach emoji down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that you really enjoyed that video. I've been waiting a while to make this. I've been wanting to make it for a while because this situation really fascinated me when it happened. And I feel like other people have kind of covered this situation, but not with all of the context. I wanted to be fair to them because a lot of people are accusing them of like dating the cousins and saying all this shit and supporting map rights, and none of that is true. There are lots of genuine criticisms to be made about them, but I feel like there's a lot of fake information out there, so hopefully this video could give you a more factual, just straight ahead view of everything that happened and the stuff that didn't actually happen. That's always what I try to do, just kind of give you guys a straight up idea of just the events that happened. So hopefully this was that and it was entertaining in some way. Thank you so much to Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. They're really awesome, so check them out. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye! Thank you so much to my Garfield overlords over on Patreon. Agarafin, Arcantilus, Astrian Vortex, Boysenberry Switchblade, Brianna Robinson, Charlie B, Dana Homegardener, Dozo Blint, Curbicon, Finley, Greg Gunderson, Gyro Over Troubled Water, Helm Hamburger Hand, Jesse Chisholm, Joe Bradshaw, John Leach, Jono Charles Davey, Jordan Nielsen, Kendall Pachalik, Lady Cerebellum, Missy Pendragon, Moth Them, Pom, Red Meth, Sheriff Whiskey, SHSL Sun, Simon, Sophie Skidder, The Furby Librarian, Tyson, Vampiric Misfit, X17 Chan, and Xavier Araujo. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. It means the world to me. If you want to join these guys on Patreon, head to the link in the description. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!